Hello, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm Christina. A lot of you already know that. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to say thank you to everyone that's already here. We're looking at Sale, Neo, and Diana Gillespie, and Adrian, and Patricia, maybe. Nice to see everyone. Thank you for the thumbs up. All right. Yes, we have some things to talk about today. And I'm running a fever. So just bear with me. We're going to get through this. Don't worry. We're strong. We're tougher than we think we are. Let's see. Alrighty. Okay. Yes. The title of this, at least in the picture, it says, "Be concerned of terror sleeper cells in the U.S. amid Israel-Hamas war," says Speaker, "must prioritize border." Okay. And he is not the only one. This is just one of the most recent examples. Ooh, my eyes will look amazing in 2 minutes. See, this is why ads need to be silenced. I don't know where is all this coming from? No, we're not gonna start here. We're gonna end it here. Okay, I guess I just need to click out of this. That was not okay. It was an article I was gonna read, but since it wants to act a little crazy and give us commercials, we might as well just turn it off completely. Hello, Daryl. Good to see you. All right. This is a difficult time, okay, for the people of the world, not just America. But yes, we have sleepers here. We hurt, but we won't be broken, okay? Not paralyzed. We're not going to be paralyzed either. Why? Because God is with us. He gave us a couple of brain cells to work with, okay? And He is our hope. This day, we must begin to put aside petty arguments with friends and neighbors and family, because the time for that's past. And it is the seeds of that pettiness that has got us to this time in biblical history. We have got to start standing together. And so as we begin to hear worrisome reports, we rest our faith and lives in God, whom we serve, while we prepare for anything that God has warned us about prior to today. All right. So, yes, there are sleeper cells, not just in America, but in other parts. But they're becoming a big worry now. And I knew something was wrong when I saw the Ring of Fire eclipse coming through at the same time. The Ring of Fire was doing its thing in Israel, and that it was in her hand, Revelation 12 sign. I knew something was not right. And so it looks like the chef is in the kitchen and we're on the menu at some point. So a lot of you may have already done preps as far as water test strips, gas mask, iodine tablets, those supplies, solar, this and that and the other. But a lot of people have not thought a whole lot about self-defense, because I think a lot of us watch too many movies, that we think we're all just superheroes, when the fact is we've gotten really slow watching this much TV. Maybe not everybody, but it's time to start thinking about self-defense, because this world is getting more and more dangerous anyway. It's just a fact of life. You can be snatched off the street. You can be run down. Anything can happen, and it does all the time now. When you start talking prophecy, it gets real clear. It's going to get beyond what you see normally. All right. Okay. All right. So when it comes to self-defense, there are just seeds I need to plant in your head, things that you need to start doing now. Okay. Like being able to use both of your hands, hand-eye coordination practice, like, throwing a ball at each other, baseball, you know what I'm saying? Reaction time, you have to work on that. And when it comes to reaction time, it means that you cannot let your emotions paralyze you into not physically reacting and logically making decisions. You've got to make sure that you are able to assess a situation and be able to react to it, not get frozen in fear and frozen in processing your emotions. You've got to be able to go directly to what it is you've started practicing, hopefully before now, but if not, by now, starting to. So your reaction time will be important. You will need rapid decision-making skills and abilities, okay? You need to become aware of your surroundings now. Walks around your house, securing your barns, your sheds, your enclosures. When you're walking up on your car, you need to be paying attention, not letting the kids distract you, the radio distract you, okay? Start making it a habit to become hyper aware of what's around you all the time. It won't hurt to start practicing how to take somebody's weapon, okay? Pressure points, amazing things. Amazing power you have in just a single finger is beyond comprehension. The use of reflective surfaces can help you or hurt you. If you can be seen in a reflective surface, or you are undercover some kind, and you can use reflective surfaces like those glass panes that are in front of stores, the paint jobs on cars, reflective surfaces, even cups you can see. All right. Proper shielding. Remember, to keep your head down in a serious situation, you need to learn how to escape tie bands, because that's become way too common lately. Be sure to watch containers of liquid. It can alert you to movement on the ground, to earthquakes, artillery shells, even things that may be getting closer, with the harder ripples in the cup. It's a way. It's these little things that you might want to start paying attention to now. Also, watch sudden movements of wildlife and pay attention to the direction that they are headed. Whatever direction they're headed in, I probably want to be headed in that direction too, because what's behind them is probably not something I want to see. Could be lava, could be a meteor, I don't know. But I'm not looking back. I'm going to run with the deer, okay? Camouflage, remember that. It has to be specific for your area. You might be in a sandy area. You might be in the woods like me. You might be in the grassy plains. Camouflage for your area. The coloring of the season in your area will matter too. Teamwork. Again, petty arguments, gotta stop. A house divided cannot stand. So we got to stop this. I mean, this easy offense. Okay, we got to get a thicker skin, work things out, get some teamwork going. My daughter and I are so close, for example, that often we can look at each other, or we don't even have to do that, and we just know. We know each other so well in how we do things that it's pretty automatic in many cases. Okay, you need to have that with your family or with your roommates, whoever it is that's in your life, in your home, in your neighborhood. You need to have some kind of battle plan, an exit plan. And this right here, I never want to miss an opportunity on this one. You have what is called day and night watchmen. From this moment on, instead of talking about how people that work at night, there's been this disconnect, people that sleep all day like they're lazy, don't realize there are a lot of people that work at night that are just night owls. And I think God created night people and day people for a reason. And in cases like this, you're going to want to implement your night and your day people to be watchmen, to watch those little signs, okay? You want to have meeting places in case you have to bolt. You need to have survival skills, okay? Because learning all this water filtration and stuff is great, even having backup food. But if you have to run, you need to learn your area's wild edible plants and any lookalikes that might be poisonous. Could save your life. I'm not kidding. Know your enemy. All right? Doesn't matter who it is. Start becoming aware of who they are, what they're about, what their tactics are, how they do things. You have to know your enemy. Learn to use all of your senses: hearing, sight, smell, touch. Okay? Focus. Panicking will get you killed. Seek out veterans for help, ideas, planning, etc. Now, while we are doing all of this, we're going to watch for a day that comes when there is a sudden break in all communication, like TV, internet, and phone. And it may be accompanied by electrical blackout by 3 EMP pulses that will kill your cars, the grid, airplanes, phones, etc. Right now is the time to really know who you can trust. And in this case, you need to be absolutely sure. Remember that everyone is good at something. Everyone down to the nanny needs to be trained and ready for anything. Whatever you do, don't get caught. Now, a lot of people will say we'll be out of here by then. We're here now. I'm talking about and talking to the living. We're here now. We're going to do what we can while we can, as long as we can, until we're not here anymore. Okay? Hello, Clarissa. Hello, Melody. Good to see you guys. Great, 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 great. Amanda. We will all do the best we can, but unfortunately I have to work Monday through Friday. Yeah. Don't forget, I mean, there are just little things like you can do. You don't have to always have so much time on your hands. Like, there are these little brain teaser games you can play on your phones to get your brain working faster. That will help your reaction time, your thought processes. They're just, when you're on the road, you already watch, but you'll be watching everything now. Like, you just get used to watching, get used to your senses. You know, if you're going to watch a video, one of them should be about, take time out of your day at some point when you're off and go, okay, let's see if I can get out a pair of zip ties. It doesn't have to be like all day, every day training, but something needs to start being done whenever you can. That's a good thing to say, Amanda. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. Also, right now is a good time to get your health in order. Get your body in the best shape that you can. But when it comes to health, you also need to brush up on your first aid and your CPR for yourself and for your loved ones. Okay? You'd be amazed at how many things a shoestring can do. Mental health. There's your emotional health. And again, the brain games. You need to get your mind working efficiently. If there are any drugs that you're on that you don't need medically every day, don't take them. Get your body in the best shape that you possibly can. Natural disaster planning. Know the geology of your area. Some areas can turn to quicksand during a quake. And these are the kinds of things we're facing in our biblical future. It's all coming. And I'll tell you why in just a second. I want you to know traffic issues that are common in your area, especially when evacuations might be trying to take place. Any kind of issue. Like here in Houston, we've got like basically 3 highways out of this place. Gridlock is assured every time with millions of people living here. So know your traffic issues. In our case, I've learned that if a hurricane's coming, if I haven't left ahead of the evacuation order, I need to just bed down because I'm not going anywhere. I'll run out of gas before I get 10 miles up the road. That's how bad the traffic is in my area. Because major earthquake water events are coming very, 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 very soon. This whole thing going on in the Middle East, it is a kickoff to what we are going to see prophetically. I mean, that kicked off a major series of events that is unavoidable. All right? We get flooding, so one bridge gets shut down. See, it's important. I'm tired and stressed out. I don't want to worry about some stuff. Yeah, I understand that too. I was more of a tomboy, and I used to throw Chinese stars with my buddies on poles, and just they even made me weight lift. They didn't care if I had epilepsy. We'd be riding bikes. My brother would hold on to my handlebars if I went into a seizure while I'm on the road. I mean, I think that kind of stuff is neat. And there's one thing that's like when I am stressed out, I don't know if that works for anybody else, like just getting out and doing something physical, like I think that stuff is cool. Be like, watch me try to get out of these tie bins. You know, I don't know. I guess it's how you look at it personally. I have 6 old ladies living in my court, and that's me included. How old? Tell you what, one of the coolest things, I mean, like if they can look, sometimes looking harmless can be a dangerous trick. So I'll tell you what, my grandma, shoot, I wouldn't mess with her for nothing. Not even when I was at my youngest and strongest. I couldn't. She'd whoop me anyway. I'm waiting to see if they stop the rain in Israel. As far as I've known in prophecy, they always come when the tribulation, like when the Antichrist comes on the scene. When he gets here, around that same time, we should see the 2 witnesses coming. Over 50. They got life in them left, Sally. Yeah, you don't under. Nah. Yeah, I tell you what, they got them crocheting needles. Look, that's a weapon to me. Come here, baby. Yeah. Now I know that a lot of people they are disabled. You do what you can while you can, but we must always keep in mind that one way or another we're getting called home. That prophecy shows the bottleneck, the end in population, the end of our age. And what that means for Christians is that we're going home one way or another. We're going to spend our eternity with our Father and our Savior, Jesus Christ. And for me, man, I'll be so happy when I make it home. But while I'm here, I'm going to do everything I humanly can before I go. Because this is my only chance to make a difference. I can't do anything once I'm gone. When I get there, I'll be happy. See, that's what we have to look forward to. That's our hope. That's everything, right? We can't be afraid of that. And we're going to see a lot of people go, but we're not going to be far behind in a lot of cases. When all this is done, we know there's only going to be a remnant left to go into that 1,000 years of peace, that millennial reign. We know that. The question really is what are we going to do while we're here? Is that right? Get over here. All right. Nope, you're going to sit here for a minute, buddy. He'll bother me if I don't do it. But if he thinks he wants to get away, he'll leave me alone. Yes, sir. All right. So the most important thing is to have faith, because I'll tell you what, miracles happen. God is also there for the underdog. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be supernatural things starting to happen. It's just because I know the time of miracles is returning. Everything else from the ancient days is. Time of miracles is back. I know that God will be able to protect us in a lot of cases. He'll call us home. I don't know his plan for everybody. We all have an appointment with him. Just don't be afraid. Trust in God. Trust in his plan. All right. Now we know that this is getting closer. The problem that I've always had with prophecy is I know what happens, but I never know how long it's going to take in between each step, each sequence in the whole thing. And they're talking about a peace deal right now that I know kicks off those water events and those earthquakes and red dawn situation. That's what does it. That's why I'm sitting here saying, okay, you got to be ready for anything. My grandma, I told her, I said, one day there's going to be an earthquake. We're from a hurricane prone area. I said, what part of the house, where would you go in the event of an earthquake? She thought she would still just get in the bathroom tub like always. I said, no, Grandma, that's a hurricane. You talk to each other. Do you know where to go? Most people I see on videos, they run out the house. I've heard getting like a doorway thing, but most people just run up out the house. That's probably the smartest thing to do. Moses represents the Old Testament. John the Baptist had the spirit of Elijah. That's the New Testament. Okay. Locations, I think, in your earlier videos. I can't remember. I know how you talked about Houston. Any other locations? What, like safe locations or water event locations? Because Houston's, if I'm not, yeah, this is something God showed me. Houston's end will come with a flood. If the two witnesses are Moses, maybe it means the Bible. I don't know. There's again, that's a bunch of theology arguments that we're going to find out who the two witnesses are in due time, because this isn't some set to head 100 years from now. This is all knocking at our door. All right, so we're going to read this real quick. The one article that doesn't have a whole bunch of ads. It's called Roundup. Egypt holds summit on de-escalating armed conflict in Gaza. It was a summit. It happened, I think, yesterday or this week. Cairo, Egypt, October 21st. An international peace summit concluded Saturday at Egypt's new administrative capital east of Cairo, where heads of state and ministers from several counties urged for an end to the ongoing Israel-Hamas armed conflict in the Gaza Strip. Dubbed the Cairo Summit for Peace, the conference kicked off on Saturday morning and was called by Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to de-escalate the conflict in Gaza, pursue a ceasefire, and seek a resolution to the long-standing Israeli-Palestinian conflict via a two-state solution. Did y'all hear that? They don't just want a ceasefire. They want to seek a resolution to the long-standing conflict via this one particular way, the two-state solution. And they had a peace summit with all these different nations over there. All right. Now it talks about how Egypt condemns the terrorization of civilians and expresses its astonishment at the world's response to a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, Sisi said in his speech at the opening of the summit. All right, so it's a lot of talking here about what they condemned, but there's something down here I want to read to you. I want to get to it. Yeah, they're talking about the trucks that came in. There was something down here. I know I'm getting to it. He said that if Israeli attacks were to continue, these attacks would threaten global stability and peace with geographical escalation. Since October 7th, the Palestinian Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas, and Israel have engaged in a bloody confrontation, leading to more than 5,000 deaths on both sides. Last time we did a live, I mentioned many countries that were willing to sign this peace deal, that we're all for it. And I mean, you look in the news, like today, it seemed like there wasn't a lot of new news. But if you looked up two-state solution, like for the last 24 hours, just nothing but talk from all kinds of countries. That's where their focus suddenly is hardcore. Before it was like they were dainty about the two-state solution. There was nothing really motivating them. But now, motions are high. Once that peace deal happens, and it could happen anytime, okay? That's it. There's going to be imminent consequences when that happens. So you really need to make sure that you pay attention to that. Okay. Yeah. That's so true, Neo. Okay. Australia, man, they had a couple of pretty bad earthquakes today or yesterday. Clarissa, I had a dream years ago where I was standing in the middle of a crowd looking up at God's throne. Big cities do have to be careful. Absolutely. Ah, cute kitty. All right. Let me just make sure. All right. All right. I think we went through everything. Do the best you can, but like just think about the list of things. There are at least some things that you can start doing, because I tell you what, when I see trucks heading down my road, tanks, convoys to pick people up kind of things, I'm not going to freeze. I'm not going to faint or something. I'm going to run. I'm going to grab what I need to grab if I have time, and I'm jetting. I'm going to keep running. Then I'm probably going to dive in a bush somewhere and wait it out. But no, I'm going to have some kind of plan. I know my area. Google map yourself, look around, Zoom, do things like that. All right. Anyway, we're about to have to become our own army. I don't want you to sit there and think that from day one, you're always going to have assistance from the military or charities. There are going to be many times, extended times, when you're only going to be able to depend on you. That's another thing. Those old ladies, I'll tell you something. They've got knowledge from the Depression. They've got knowledge from canning from their grandmothers. I'd probably feel real comfortable around them. I'd be like, what do I do? And they'd be like, oh, girl, those twigs out back, you can eat them or whatever, you know. You kids don't know nothing. That's all my grandmas, all the grandmas in my area. You kids, y'all don't know anything anymore. All right, y'all. It was really good talking to you. Oh, and one last thing. Tuesday night, we're finally going to do that live about the millennial reign with Pastor Anthony, hopefully Brother Paul too. And we'll let you know more about that in the next couple days. I love you. God bless you. And I will talk to you soon.